Welcome to TYT Sports. Jason and fellow button-down shirt wearer.
My mom bought me this shirt.
Did she? And my mom bought me this shirt.
We are so cool.
Crushing it at, how old are you? Doesn't matter.
34.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
What's
So
that response?
That response is you're well past the age of like almost everybody in the NBA.
Yeah, that's a rough feeling.
Right, because I have the weird feeling that, and we're about to do, actually, what am I talking about? We're about to do Cristiano Ronaldo clip. Regardless, the main point I was going to say is like when I watch sports, it used to be like, oh, these guys are all older than me.
Yes.
And now it's like every #1 draft pick signing for like millions and millions of dollars is 6 to 7 years younger than me on average.
Yeah, and I used to hold them to such a high standard,
Right.
and now I'm like, oh my God, when you're 18, you're stupid.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's not his fault
That's
he's
why you shouldn't be
stupid.
giving me millions of dollars to like play basketball. I'd spend it all.
Yeah.
Or soccer.
And I'll
Doesn't
just back
matter.
him down the lane because I'm 34.
Right.
Back
That's
him
what
down the
happens.
lane.
You get stronger. You just get more body as you get older.
Yeah,
That's why,
it's weird.
That's why people like usually in their 40s can be good at basketball in the paint.
Yeah, you get trunky. You just get a tree, you become a trunk.
Trunky.
Giant tree trunk.
Speaking of trunks, at least for legs, Cristiano Ronaldo. So Francis, by the way, away in Scotland. He'll be back at some point. We don't know when. If they let him back into the country, he'll be back on TYT Sports. It really just depends on who's president at the time.
Right.
Just depends on who's going to be running our country. Regardless, Cristiano Ronaldo's been doing nothing short of Ronaldo-esque things because he was injured for a long time. He got injured actually at in the Euros final, which was heartbreaking to watch because he's such a major part, if not the biggest part of Portugal's team. They ended up winning the Euros anyway, a major, major claim to his legacy. Now that he missed a lot of the beginning of the season for Real Madrid, World Cup qualifying's back, and in the matter of 3 days, he's scored 5 goals.
Insane.
Which is insane.
And counting. Is that game over right now?
No, it is finally over.
Oh,
they won another game 6-0. So the first one came against Andorra, right, which we were discussing before geographically.
Andorra, the country, is the size of the room you're in watching this. Yeah, it's small. So Ronaldo scored all of his goals. They were mostly position goals. The position he was in was playing against Andorra. Right. If you're in that position, you're going to do well.
Yeah, actually, speaking of, well, you actually made a good point there, not just because of just saying position-wise. If you saw all 4 of these goals, and I didn't, the one today too, like, one of them was a beautiful pass in from Quaresma, but the first one that started off against Andorra was like a set piece off a corner kick.
Yeah.
And it was like deflected off the goalie, and Ronaldo's dead center right there. What I find amazing, and this is a lot harder to be done than it is to be said, or a lot easier said than done. Marking Ronaldo, like, you can't leave the world's best player, especially at the moment, when healthy, dead center in the middle of the box, 6 yards away from the goal.
Yeah, that happens. And those are those meltdowns. You see this happen in any sport where, like, the star player gets some breathing room and you don't know how it happened. You know, it's a qualifier. They're playing against Andorra.
Playing against small countries, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, from the analysis I know of Andorra is they don't really push forward very much. They're a defensive team. I don't know how they do it. But, you know, sometimes you're pretty sure how good Ronaldo is, and he's just better than that.
Yeah, he absolutely rises to the quality of being a superstar. What I found, like, again, so amazing about it is he's I think in this World Cup qualifying season, if not eventually at the 2018 World Cup. In terms of international goals, he's on the verge of breaking many, many highly touted, respected legends of the game. Like, he's got 66 goals now, including the one against Faroe Islands today after a hat trick from Silva. And then, of course, in like the 48th, 49th minute, Ronaldo gets his own, and he has 66 international goals, which is remarkable considering, one, his arch rival Messi's about 10 goals short of him, and he's about to pass Robbie Keane and Gerd Mueller, who for Ireland and Germany, respectively, are 2 of like the greatest strikers of all time. And then Pele's at 77. It gets weird at the top.
Why?
And I say that because like you don't hear the names. It's like from Iran is like one of the top goal scorers internationally of all time with like 80, 90, or 100 like international goals.
What era?
Like way
Way
like we're
back.
talking like the 40s, 50s, and maybe
because
even
the
before that.
infancy of a lot of, like, I don't know, maybe not infancy, but there are those eras. Like in college basketball, you just have the wooden years where like someone figured something out about basketball and it lasted a decade.
Right. It's actually, if you go to the Basketball Hall of Fame, it's like there's a whole like floor to go through the wooden years because it's like there's the wooden years in its own hallway, and then there's everyone who lost who is like an honorable mention during the
Right,
wooden
exactly.
years.
Like, if not for the wooden Bruins,
Right,
then
team.
you would have had all these little great stories of the 70s.
Right, like Houston, UNLV, like all these teams.
Yeah,
that, like,
no,
had their
Digger
moments.
Phelps made his entire name off of
Providence
beating
College,
the
right.
Bruins once, really.
Right. It's true, though.
And it was cold outside.
But that's why we play
Sorry.
basketball indoors.
I know.
That's why. I mean,
I know.
at least but that's the thing though with world football, with soccer, like they play it outside all year round, regardless. If it's cold, they're just like suck it up. It's the only sport
Yeah.
we have.
Yeah.
It's not the only sport. I know, like cricket's huge overseas, but like they hold it higher than everything else.
Yeah.
But so what I found so interesting about that international goal scorers list is my feeling is that when he passes Pele, that's going to be the biggest deal because
Yes.
at least in America, when you think of soccer legends, it's the first
Pele.
guy who comes to mind. Like the bicycle kick goal and everything he did for Brazil and everything at the international level, which
And
was so
everything he did
remarkable.
for American professional soccer. Like,
That's
that
true.
was the launching of that one, basically the MLS of America, was like, we got Pele. The same way it was like, we got Beckham.
Yeah, well, it's really when they bring over the retired legends, which, by the way, like in what, 4 years we'll have Ronaldo here?
Yeah, right, that's the time. That's the timeline
He'll
on
play
it.
on like the LA Galaxy.
But it's great to be in a time right now where you're watching the high watermarks like push each other forward. You know, you have Pele up there, but to have Messi and Ronaldo still vying for it at the same time is fantastic.
That's one of the biggest points that, like, again, we compare them so much. But like 10, 15 years from now, when they're not in the game at all, they're retired or whatever it is, like then all the headlines will read, Messi picks his starting 11 of all time. You won't believe who's not in it. And
Right.
Ronaldo picks his all-time favorite Real Madrid starter. You wouldn't believe who he let. Like, that's what all the headlines are going to read, because right now they read Pele picked his favorite
Right.
11 players, and we just did the one like Ronaldinho like picked his favorite Brazilian Ronaldo. There's all these guys. So like in 10, 15 years, we're gonna look back and go, oh wow, instead of criticizing these guys so much, we probably should have been going. Imagine, to me, like again, another basketball reference. I know everyone's gonna be going like, bring Francis back, basketball, blah blah. It's imagine if like Michael Jordan and Bill Russell played at the same time.
Yeah, it's
Like-
pretty crazy. I like watching all that stuff develop, and it's right. I like it. The thing about Ronaldo is not only is he so talented, but he's so damn attractive. And so you have these guys. Why are soccer players so much hotter?
Yeah, actually,
than
I never,
everyone else?
Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, by sport, they probably have the most attractive men.
Yeah.
I would think, and
I
even
don't know.
the women too.
Who's like Kobe's a looker.
Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade's like always on the
D-Wade gets
cover
some.
of GQ.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like baseball and like NFL, like all the quarterbacks, like Tom Brady, all the quarterbacks.
Cam Newton,
Yeah, they're all
just a gorgeous man.
Cam Newton might be like the most photogenic
Oh God,
athlete in history.
so
Every
$1 billion
time.
smile.
Yeah, at least he's flossing his teeth on the sideline. All right, guys, where does Ronaldo rank internationally all time? Is he going to start passing? Well, he's going to pass, so like barring ridiculous injuries. He's going to pass Keane, Mueller, and Pele. Is he going to reach that 100-goal mark, though? 2022, if he's still around for Portugal at that
I hope he
time?
passes Mueller because he's not attractive. He's a creepy-looking dude.
So maybe we need to balance it out more. Either way, comment below your thoughts on World Cup qualifying. Portugal obviously off to a 12-0, like over the last 3 days. Andorra, Faroe Islands.
After a loss to
places.
Switzerland.
That's right. That's true. After the loss to Switzerland. So they have a long way ahead of them, at least until we get to that point. But again, comment below. Brett, what's your thing on Twitter? @Brett
Just
Ehrlich?
@Brett Ehrlich. Follow me on Snapchat. Follow me on Instagram, and you'll see how I got hit by a stingray on my foot.
Is that true? All right,
Why do you think I'm wearing these ridiculous flippy floppies?
That's amazing. I'm going to pick up on another story because I had the same thing happen to me like 2 days ago. Comment below.